Right then, yes. Legs this evening, kind of a little bit of a squat sequence that we're going to try in two different squat variations. So hopefully by the second time you know what you're doing. Although I might mix it up a little bit just to be kind to you. And then when we come down onto the mat, we've got some press ups. That's what we've got this evening. Some press ups. So nice one to kind of work on the shoulders, and then we'll build that a little bit more into a core sequence. Yeah. So let's come to stand, make a start, see where we end up. My right lighting wise, yeah, that's good. It's a lovely light evening. I usually have to flood this room with light, but just a little bit of light, and the sunlight is the daylight, should I say, is coming through, so that's always nice. Okay, let's think about making a start. So bring yourself into standing, nice kind of hip feet position, feet hip width apart, that's what I was aiming for. Okay, knees are nice and soft. And then just draw your focus to your pelvis, maybe placing your hands on the brim of your pelvis if you want that kind of hands-on feedback, or just relaxing your hands by your side. And we just start with a little bit of a pelvic tilt, so tucking your tailbone underneath, lengthening through your spine, and then arching your tailbone, sending your tail behind you so we get that kind of curvature in the lower back. Tucking under, lengthening, drawing the tummy in slightly as we do, and then releasing the tummy as we arch. So as we tuck under with the tailbone, we shorten the pelvis towards the rib cage, which allows these spring coils that we talk about to shorten, these tummy muscles, and then we can just let them go as we arch. So if you find yourself often kind of standing in this sway back position, which is slightly more common in women than it is men, but we notice that actually those tummy muscles are always on a stretch. It's going to be really hard for us to recruit them. So if you do often sort of find yourself stood like this, then just do that little pelvic tilt, and straight away those tummy muscles are going to engage a little bit more for you day to day. Fab. Let's find that neutral spine now, so somewhere in between the two, and let's connect in with those deeper tummy muscles. So taking a nice deep breath in for me. And then as you exhale, just drawing that band across your lower tummy into your spine. See if you've just kind of wrapped a corset around your pelvis. And then hold that tension, but continue to breathe deeply. So you should feel your tummy rise and fall still, even though we've got this ever so gentle tension across the waistband. Looking good, softening the shoulders, softening the jaw. If anything, just opening your mouth slightly so as not to hold any tension around your face. Lovely. And then we're releasing the arms if they are by your side, and we're going to add a little bit of a float through the arms. So we come up with the arms, raise the arms up, keep that tummy gently drawn in, slide the shoulders down the ribs, and then we slowly lower back down again. Lovely, super simple, but really connecting in with your core. So as the arms come up, then maybe we just draw the tummy in ever so slightly more. And when you get to the top, just checking in on the shoulders, making sure those shoulders haven't crept up towards your ears. We're anchoring those shoulder blades down to the ground, using the muscles around the mid-back and the shoulder blades. Lovely, making sure we're breathing deeply. Looking good, well done. Fabulous. Hi, Emma. We're just starting, so join in when you're ready. Okay, we're going to hold this next one up and over. So bring those hands up over to the top, or stay there if you're already there. Checking in on those shoulders, yeah? We don't want these shoulders up here, otherwise we're holding that unnecessary tension. We're dropping them down to expose a nice long neck. We've got the tummy nice and active, and we're going to float up onto tiptoes. And then we're going to drop the heels down, and we're going to come into a squat, because what goes up must come down. Okay, we come back up again, floating the heels off the mat, drop the heels down and come down into our squat. Now, I know you know about your squats, but let me just remind you. So you sit your weight into your heels so that your knees don't pass over your toes. So on your next squat, can you give your toes a little wiggle? If your toes don't come off the floor, you're sitting too far forwards into that squat. You want to push your hips behind you without sticking your bottom back. Yeah, keep that tail tucked under, nice level pelvis. What goes up must come down, so up first, and then we come down. And then the position of those knees, those kneecaps stay pointing forwards and don't collapse into one another. So when you come into your squat, press the outside of your knees apart ever so slightly, as if you're holding a elastic band around your knees and you're just holding that tension with your band. We've got 3 more. Resting the arms at any point. Those arms should be feeling heavy now as we've held them up a little bit longer. Maybe take them into a rest now, because after this next one we're going up to the top and we're going to hold. So lift those heels off the mat. We take it into double heel raise, holding here, checking in on the shoulders and drawing that focus back to that band of tension. We hold, and for those that want to challenge their balance a little bit more, we glance to the left and then we glance to the right. And then we face forwards. Now take the hands and place them on the hips. Keep the heels lifted and we take it back into our squats. So we've got our heels off the floor and we come up and down in our little squats, just taking it to the top of the range. Really, this is where your options are. So if you find that that's a little bit uncomfortable on your knees, make those squats teeny tiny, so it's just a little bend of the knees. Okay, and if you're happy with your knees, then we can make those squats a little bit deeper and come right down into the bottom range of that squat. Keep those heels lifted if you can. We've got 5 more. Really feeling it in the thighs now. 4 more, looking good. These are tough, well done. 3 more. 2. And then we hold here. So we've got the heels lifted, the knees bent, shallow or deeply. We're drawing the tummy in towards the spine, and we're either staying with the hands on the hips or we're bringing the hands above the head, and we hold here. Breathe. 5, 4. If your legs aren't shaking, go higher with the heels and lower with the squats. 3, 2, and 1. Well done. Drop the heels and push it to stand and rest through the arms, shaking those legs out. It's good work, everybody. So that was round 1. Here we go with round 2, but this time we're going to take it into our wide stance. So feet wider than your hips, and then you're just going to turn your toes to the outside of your room. I'm just going to drop my camera a touch. Sorry, you probably couldn't see my feet too well then. So as if your feet are a clock face, you're going to turn them 10 to 2. You either get my feet or you get my head. Sorry, there's no in between there. Okay, let's just do a few pelvic tilts from this position, because it feels really nice to open up the front of the hips, especially as you come into that pelvic tilt, tucking under with your tailbone. You might feel that stretch through the hip flexors, yeah, as the spine and the femur bones connect together. So just this area here. Beautiful. Okay, come to where your pelvis rests level. Now this is really important. So you've got a flat back and you're imagining that you're stood against a wall. So keep the back of your head, the shoulders and your spine all pressed against the wall. Push your knees apart, so outwardly rotate your thighs, and then we're going to bend into those knees. Keep your tail tucked under and then press into the floor. Tighten your pelvic floor to help you lift up. And then release as we lower. So sliding down the wall. Options, yeah, to take it just a little bit or to take it all the way down. Okay, so choosing that depth of squat to help progress or regress at any point if you need to. Now that pelvic floor is going to help us go all the way up now. So we come down with our squat, we come up, tighten the pelvic floor. When you get to the top, we're going to raise the heels off the mat. Lower the heels down, slide back down again. Now that heel lift in this wide leg stance should make you feel a little bit off balance. So maybe use that core connection to hold your balance as you slide down the wall and push up to stand. Really tricky to get those heels off the mat as we've opened out now into the hips. So the lever in the muscle length has changed, which makes it harder to recruit those muscles, which is why it feels harder to get the feet off the floor. But do your best for 3 more. For 2 more. Good stuff. Okay, now we come up to the top. We peel the heels off of the mat. Tummy is drawn in, and then we bring the hands up above the head and we hold here. Tuck your tailbone underneath so that your back isn't arched, nice and flat back. And for those that want a little bit more, don't worry if you lose your balance, find it again. We glance to the left. And then we glance to the right. Good work, everybody. We face forwards, we place those hands on the hips. We keep the heels lifted and we come back into those little plie type squats. So straight back, bend the knees. Now these are tricky. So if you need to bend your heel, lower your heels, that's absolutely fine. But maybe challenge yourself. Keep the heels lifted and just bend the knees slightly, or coming all the way down to the bottom of the wall. Really feeling those thighs, working inner thighs and glutes, squeezing your bottom to push back up to stand. We've got 4 more. Drop the heels at any point. 3 more. 2 more. And 1. Holding this next one. Tuck your tailbone underneath, tummy joint to spine. Hands above the head, drop the shoulders down if you wish, or keep your hands on your hips as we hold. 4, 5. 4, heels higher, knees lower. 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Drop the heels, straighten the legs. Oh, feeling the burn on that one. Lovely stuff. Okay, shake your legs out and then just step them wide again. We're just going to do a little bit of a side bend, something nice, just to open up through the side of the body, through the inner thigh. So super simple, standing nice and tall. We reconnect with that lovely deep breath. So deep inhale. And as you exhale, just start to tip your body to the side, reaching your fingertips down the outside of one leg, and bring the opposite arm up and over. Now, try not to let the shoulder creep up as the hand comes over. Keep that nice gap between your ear and your arm. And then we take that top arm and we swing it round, drawing a nice big circle. And then we reach it up and over again. Now, keep your tummy ever so gently drawn into your spine. Try and keep your body as flat as you can. The only thing that moves out of that flat line is your arm, but even still, as the arm comes up and over, it stays in line with the side of your body. Okay, so you're really trying to keep the parameters of that movement fairly flat. No twisting of the spine. Yeah, the top shoulder is lifted. We've got 2 more circles with the arms. That looks wonderful, everybody. Well done. And then we hold this next one. So reach up and over with that top arm. Hold. Really stretch to the tips of your fingers. Draw the tummy to spine for 3, 2, and 1. Well done. And slowly bring yourself back up. Holding those stretches after a couple of breaths. You do really feel it. Good work, everybody. Second side now. So breathe in to prepare. Breathe out, slowly reach down to the outer thigh. Second side, and we take the opposite arm and we reach up and over. And we sweep round. So it's a really nice shoulder opener. Getting the underside of the shoulder working and the back. Lovely. Let me see you on this side. Can you reach a little bit further down your leg if possible? And you're trying to keep your body as flat as you can. Yeah, and you can just follow your hand with your gaze if you wish, or just let your head rest sort of in that side position, but just try not to let the weight of your head drag you down. We've got 2 more. And then we hold this next one up and over. Shoulder is lifted, neck is long. Press your foot into the floor and reach your fingers away for 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Come back to the centre and bring your feet together. Good work, everybody. Okay, travelling down onto our mats, we'll do that with a few roll downs. If you want to stand at the foot of your mat, so we can come out into our box position. Roll downs, we know we're trying to aim that segmental mobility at every level of your spine. So starting nice and tall, breathe in. Exhale, slowly peel through the bones in your spine. Now is our time to really connect in with our bodies. So your breathing should guide your movement. Slow and steady. bringing that exhale to the bottom of your movement to allow you to sink into your forwards folds. And then growing tall again as you stack back up to stand through the bones in your spine as you come into that lovely upright posture. And when you get to the top, we just simply repeat, following that breath, following that movement, really trying to focus the mind into your center. Your mind is going to really want to drag you elsewhere, whether that be into something in the future or something in the past. So let's really anchor it in the present and focus on our breathing. And as we move into roll downs, we may be trying to start to reach ever so slightly deeper. Maybe we start to straighten out the legs if they're bent. Maybe we start to bring a little more weight into the front of the feet just to really feel the back line of the body's stretch. We're going to do 2 more. Breathing as we move. Taking your time, not only to roll down, but also to stack back up. And then using this next one as your final one. So if you're already there, please feel free to stay there and hang a little bit longer. And if you're not, just take your time to roll through and join at the bottom. And once you're there, we'll do just a little bit of bending of alternate knees. So hanging in that forwards fold, bend one knee, press the opposite heel into the floor, and then bend the opposite knee, press the second heel into the floor. Really nice just to open up the legs more kindly, one at a time, and then take a big deep breath in, and as you breathe out, just sink into that forwards fold. If you've got any more depth, we go a little bit deeper, lifting your seat bones up towards the sky. We breathe, and then we bend into the knees and walk out into our box position, taking it into our press-ups. So have a little look at your box position and your options, joining in when you're ready. So it's really about how long your box is and where the weight of your upper body sits. So a short box is going to be a little bit easier, and also sitting ever so slightly back towards your heels will help. So look at the position of your shoulders in relation to your wrists. Yeah, so sitting away from the wrists is going to help. Sitting over the wrist is going to make it even more challenging, and walking your hands forwards and then sitting over the wrists again is your kind of top level. Yeah, so small box, sit back, box, or long box and sitting forwards. Now with this, it's really important to keep your tummy drawn in towards your spine and don't let your bottom travel up as you come down. See, a lot of this in our Pilates press-ups, this is not going to do much for your arms or for your core. This is what we want to be working on, is keeping that tail tucked underneath, keeping your back flat, and then lower down towards the mat. So you should be able to rest 8 cups of tea along the length of your spine as you come down. If your bottom lifts up, all of those cups of tea are going to spill towards your head. And it really doesn't matter how low you go. So in any of those 3 options that we spoke about at the start, you could be just doing the top range of the movement, or you could be coming all the way down and your chest could be brushing on the floor. And working hard with all of our options, taking the rests when we need to, sitting back into the heels, a really good one for strengthening up those wrists, but do take it easy if those wrists do have a tendency to get tired. Beautiful work. We're losing layers, we're getting warm. Well done, everybody. Keep that tummy drawn in. Now we're going to do 3 more like this, and then we're going to add something in between, 2 more and 1. Now in between our press ups, we're going to take it into a shoulder tap. So take your right hand, tap across to your left shoulder, place your hand back down on the mat, and then we come back into our press up. and we tap across to the second shoulder, left hand to right shoulder. Now, the key with those shoulder taps is to keep your spine from twisting, okay? So those cups of teas resting on your back are really important. We don't shift the weight across to achieve that movement. We keep everything central. We engage that core and we really press that hand into the mat to give us lots of stability through the arm and the shoulders. If the shoulder taps seem tricky, rather than aiming for your shoulder, just aim for your elbow, so you've got a little bit less ground to clear. Beautiful. Keep going. We're going to do a few more press-ups and a few more taps, and then we will lose the shoulder and lose the press-ups and just work on the taps. So we'll do 2 more press-ups, 1 more tap on each shoulder. Okay, now just focusing on your taps. So we go from left to right. Keep that tummy drawn in, tapping from side to side. Okay, keep going. Everybody's in this first option in a box, a long box or a short box, depending on how your press-ups were. Good work, everybody. Keep that tummy drawn in. Now, for those that want that little bit more, we're going to take it into full plank and we're going to do the shoulder taps still. So walk your hands forwards, lift your knees, tail tucked underneath, and then we press. This is a tough one. It's a big step up, so it might not be for everybody. And at any point, if you need to, you can drop your knees down, do a few with your knees down, and then come back into your full plank, okay? And remember, you don't have to tap the shoulders. You might tap the elbows, or maybe even just tap the opposite hand. The idea is just coming into 3-point stability as we hold and work those cores. Okay, whatever option you're doing, you're looking strong, your spine is stable, they look wonderful, and you're here for 5, 4, wow, we've got some great planks this evening, 3, 2, and 1. Lovely. Drop the knees down and sit back into your heels, resting in your shell stretch. Let you into a little secret. I couldn't talk and do that at the same time, which is why I came to see how you guys were doing. I got a little bit out of breath. That was tough. Okay, we're going to hold our shell stretch, but we're going to add our little thread 3. So take your left hand, pass it underneath your right shoulder, and see if you can get the head and the left shoulder to connect with the mat. Really just sink into that twist. Feels good to open the back. And then we come back into the centre and we twist across right hand to left. And we pass through and see if we can get the head and the right shoulder to the mat. I think that feels so good. We'll do it again once more each side. Let's breathe this time. So inhale in the centre. Exhale to thread through. Twist, maybe looking up towards the ceiling. And back to centre, breath in. And breathe out, passing through. Good work, everybody. Okay, finishing off with a little bit more core. We're going to come into our rest position. So have a light on your backs and we'll see what we've got here. Okay, a little bit of control and strength work. So knees are bent, feet hip distance apart. Let's just focus in on that lower back position because that's going to be really important as we work a little bit harder this evening with these legs. So we're all going to start with what we call our double tabletop preps. So lower back is gently pressed into the mat. Now, to make this more controlled, if you need to, just press your back down a little bit more, okay? So pressing down into the floor. Tummy is drawn in and we float one leg into tabletop and then we bring the second leg up. Now this is where you might need to press your back even more into the mat. Just stop your spine from lifting. We pause at the top and then we lower one leg down at a time, okay? So then we're going to alternate. So if you just started with your right leg, you're now going to lift your left leg first. We come up, we press down, tummy to spine, second leg comes up and then we come down one leg at a time, down and down, switching your lead leg. If you can remember, don't worry if not. Single leg, double leg, one leg down, second leg down. Yeah, now you should really feel that second leg requires more strength in your abs, and the lowering of your legs, particularly that first leg, requires more control. So as your leg comes up, you need to use that core to float your second leg up. And then as the first leg comes down, you need to use that core just to stop your back from floating off the mat. And if you're not too sure, just place your hands in the small of your spine. So thread your hands underneath your back and just keep pressing down on your back as you come in and out of tabletop. Good work. I'm just going to check in. Al, how are you with that? No, singles. Yeah, good. Good work. Okay, we're going to do 3 more rounds. Up, up, down, down, slowly. Really feeling that connection with your core. 1 more round. Up, up, down, down. In fact, we'll come up, up. Double tabletop for everybody, single tabletop for those that need it though. Make sure your tabletops, your knees are placed directly over your hips. We don't want to bring those knees in towards us. We want them lifted over the hips, and we want the heels up as well, okay? So we're in a single tabletop or a double tabletop. If you're in your double tabletop, squeeze your knees together, and we're going to take it into hundreds from here. So we're going to pulse the arms. Stretch the fingertips away from one another, reaching down towards the bottom of your mat. We pulse. We've got 2 rounds of these, a little bit smaller with the pulses, so it's a really small movement. That's much better. Good stuff. Keep pulsing. Drop those heels a touch for me, Pat. There you go. Bend the knees a little bit more. Beautiful. We keep pulsing. Beautiful. Look at that. Wonderful. Well done, Helen. I could snapshot that. Okay, we're going to bring the knees into the chest, have a quick rest before we come for a second round. This gives you a chance just to swap legs. So everybody setting back up in double tabletop. If you were in a single tabletop before and I missed it, swap your legs over, second side. This time we're going to take it into pulses with the palms facing up. So opening the palms out. As you do that, lengthen through your collarbones and press your shoulder blades into the mat. Tummy drawn to spine, and we pulse here. Keep pulsing. Last chance to really work that core this evening. Keep pulsing. For 5, looking strong, well done. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great work, everybody. We're going to bring those knees in and hug them tightly to open up the back. Maybe gently rock from side to side and just focus on your breathing. Bit of a heavy one on the legs and the abs tomorrow, so I might switch it up tomorrow a little bit just to be kind. Depends if I've got the time to write another class. We'll see. Okay, let's just twist out through the back now. So feet and knees together, arms out to the side, just gently rock from left to right. You can take it slightly wider if you want and just rock the knees across like so. Sometimes it just feels a little bit kinder on that bump. Okay, drop your knees over to one side. Keep your feet and knees gently pressed together and look to the opposite shoulder to get that full twist through your spine. And bring your focus back to your breathing. Can you really exhale? As you exhale, release the tension around the side of your pelvis. Release the tension around your shoulders. And then bring your knees back into the center. And on your next breath out, we drop the knees across, hold them there and glance to the opposite side. And just sink into that twist for a moment. It's so nice just to take time into these lovely stretches. Okay, when you're ready, lying on your side, coming across to the same side as your knees, and then pushing yourself back up to sit.